Guys, gonna do a daily review real quick. Um, this okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pretty much be going over see what we had today. Sorry, I'm doing this in bed. I'm just right before I go to sleep. I just got really tired. No trades on the day. And I'll kind of go through some of my thoughts. Let me hide my quarters I'm using. All right. Um, okay, so off New York Open. Why does it keep jumping around? Clear range off New York Open. We dip into this big old fair value gaps in here. Run up. Um, and then expand higher, targeting these liquidity pools. We almost hit this one, but I think we SMT up here. Run down, end up inversing this, which I was looking to take a long off this, but there's nothing presented. Really nothing happened with the entire day. Even this setup here really not been great. I don't know, we didn't get a sweep. So yeah, there wasn't really anything for me to take off this kind of area. I was looking, I could have taken something. This liquidity pool, but that's about it. Okay, so we go off the day. We're down manipulate lower, expand higher, and then run up. And this is just some practice trades I took to collect data. Just had a turtle soup here with a very tight stop. Got stopped out there, so I could see what's going on. And then we had this trade here, the 5 point off this fair value up here. In premium, that was a really easy position to take. Ended up taking that, and then yeah, that's really much. And then these two Asian session trades, these are like PM, those Asian trades. This one was the first one, which is good. I got break even on, but that would have been play. And then this one was kind of counter trend, but I was pretty much looking for lower prices after we kind of inverse this. And I was like, okay, tap back in, and I had a pretty this small stop for Asia, like 10 point, and back up, hit there. So really just back and forth day, not too much going on. I did most of this just for data collection points. That's really all I did this. I just did this extra stuff for. Check what's going on in the higher time frame. Oh, I just got some ambient music on because I'm tired as heck. Just chill over this. Yeah, so kind of like higher tempo bridge. Tap this EQ here. Not too much crazy stuff going on. But yeah, that's really the review for today. It's pretty simple. What I really more want to go into was some stuff I was talking about here. This is my Obsidian, and it's kind of like a whiteboard. So, like I mentioned before, the main thing we're trying to do, or I'm trying to work on with my trading, is taking trades within a framework. So defining each metric pretty much. So that defining each metric. Um, that allows me to, in order to do this, each metric is defined. So I know my stats, and then this goes into collecting data. So this data is, like this stuff like wins, losses. Actually, I can show you on the times, P&L, just normal stuff like sessions. It just depends on what you want to track. And that goes in the collection data part. But what I want to show you is my database Notion. And this kind of goes over everything. My risk management, so what I'm risking. Let's stop loss, take profits, news, economic data, entry models. These are my entry models. Bias and direction, journaling metrics, and then my prop firms, just kind of like stuff I have up here. These are kind of like my key points I look at my dashboard. And then down here is my actual data. I've had around 23 trades so far. And this allows me to see this. Some of this is back tested, some of this is forward tested, but I pretty much track a lot of things, so I know like trade number, day, month, news, trade outcome, symbol, direction, different sessions. So 3 different sessions, so I can define it. Range used, premium discount, time, entry type. So I only take reversals and continuations, and I have those defined up here. Let's probably change this color so that. My true opens I watch for with quarters. These allow me to get more precise entries. These are all the stats parts of it. So this is like RR, stop loss size and points, P&L, maximum drawdown, which is like shows how much it goes up, before it actually runs to a profit. Emotional state is a new thing I added, which is kind of cool because I can track like certain metrics of my emotional state. At fair value gap type, soup type, those are just extra stuff like I can see. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it, is my data collection. But this is just on my whiteboard what I want to go over. Defining each metric, collecting data, wins, losses, times, P&L, sessions, etc. Because this goes back into refining off data. So this is something that's going to be interesting. Once I get, let's say, I want to get like within that range of 100 to some trades off the start, and that if that's back tested and forward tested. Just sticking to my rules. So it has to be within my framework. Back tested, forward tested within my framework. Then I can refine off that data. That allows me to say, hey, example. I can't spell that happening. Example. Example could be every time, every trade that hits a 5-minute FEG, so pretty much continuation off that, continuation off, gives me a, just for the joke, 67% WR win rate. 67 win rate and 1 to R. So in this example, this information, I wouldn't have gotten this information. Hold up, I'm tripping now. But this is a lot of value. Like this is how you actually should be trading. Like this is what you actually need. I wouldn't have gotten this information without going to this first part. Yeah, so I wouldn't have gotten this without collecting data and refining of it. So now that I know every trade that hits the 5-minute continuation has a 67% win rate and 1 to R, that means that this system, if it's well maintained in the same framework, is considered profitable. And that's what we want, right? As traders, all we want is profitability, profitable system. So the best way to find profitability, and this is what I'm realizing now after I'm almost going to be 2 years in trading, is through data. Taking trades with a framework, defining each metric, collecting data, finding off the data, getting all that stuff, and then giving an example of, hey, with this data, I found this, and that leads to that. So that's really all it is, guys. Like it's not like a huge thing. It's just collecting metrics and seeing what gives you better win percentage off this. So like I can go, I don't know, I don't have a ton of data yet. I only have like 23 trades, but if I'm gonna eventually get more as I go and collect more. Look at my chart. Right now it's like I have 9 wins, 9 losses, around 50%. Just this is without any filters. But then when I add filters, let's see what we got. So we could go like continuation based. You can see that when I take continuations, hold on, let me take my break evens out because those are just like, I don't even track those. Break evens. Okay, so with continuations, I already have a 71% win rate just by taking continuations. So what did I just say over here? Just by doing this and collecting data about certain metrics, watch, I bet I increase it too. Let's see. So let's say I take continuation short, 75, long. So I actually have a higher probability of taking a short continuation. And let's say it depends on the day. I don't know if the day will help. I don't have enough data to make this viable, but you know, day's not going to do anything. Let's say in New York, AM. So yeah, that gives me 100% win rate in New York. Just but that's only 2 trades. Like obviously I need more. But that's just an example, y'all, of like what it gives you. Let me get another variable. What variable can I do? I don't really have any big ones yet, so that's really all I can use right now. But if I know just by taking this, so say this is over 100 trades, you know? 100 trades instead of that. So now I know that, hey, with my 70 continuations, if I take, that's like a freaking 75% win rate if they're short. Just super interesting. So that's how data is very useful because I can go back and see, you know, the good and bad of it. It allows me to actually find out what I'm doing wrong instead of saying this cycle of just guesswork. Because if you're guessing, you're gambling. If you're guessing and trading, like I'm not saying discretion, guessing is gambling. We want to use actual frameworks. And obviously, in the beginning, when you're collecting data, you have to just go off anything just to get frameworks. But then when you refine, then you start getting something called an edge. Which, like, if y'all played poker, it's like, it's any, like, you know, it's just an edge. It generates income over a amount of time. That's literally what trading is, guys. That's it. This is not like a glamorous video or whatever, but this is literally, this will solve all your freaking problems. Now, not psychological issues, that's a whole nother story. But this is like technical, all that stuff, you just gotta do this. So, I hope this helped. Have a good night.